Hi, my name is Maxine Williams. I am the VP, Head of Accessibility and Engagement at Meta. I am now sitting in Nairobi, Kenya at the Enable Inclusive Africa Conference, but I came here all the way from Menlo Park in California.
Wow. And you're on our show. I don't know what's going on here. This is amazing. I'm so pleased to have you. This is a fantastic day. It really is.
We go where the people are.
Absolutely. And you're in an amazing place. You're sponsoring the Inclusive Africa Conference as well, right?
Yes. Yes. And we have for a number of years. You know, it's important to us to be part of what we're building, and you build that with the people who you are building for. And so Enable Africa brings together so many of the people who are both people living with the experience of disabilities, but also those advocating, those building for. You know, we've been in sessions today around assistive technology, around brands and advertisers. We've talked about how technology companies can integrate with telcos. I mean, it's just, you know, a lot of the useful, practical information for making sure that we are building products that serve the world.
Yeah, and on that point, I mean, there is one product in particular that a lot of the blind community are very, very excited about.
What's that, Stephen Scott?
I can't think of its name right now. It's escaped me. Meta Ray-Ban glasses, of course, is what I'm talking about. Everyone, when they came out, I think in our community, I'll be honest, Maxine, not perhaps the first iteration, but something around the second iteration, the second generation of these glasses when they came out, a lot of us, I started to see more and more people in the community talking about it, you know, making the leap, buying into it, and trying them out. And I've got to say, personally, I want to thank you and the team at Meta for making a product which has meant me able to take pictures again, take an interest in taking pictures, taking videos more easily than I've ever been able to, sharing those pictures. I said it at the beginning when I first got them, that I was actually getting quite emotional at the fact that I was able to take pictures at events with friends, with family that I would never have done before. And then, of course, using the AI to actually know what was in the picture. I mean, just amazing piece of work. And, you know, I know these are mainstream products, but what was your reaction at Meta when you learned that the blind community were getting so interested in this?
So I'll take you a step back. Before these were even out there, we understood what the value would be to blind and low vision people. You know, we had parallel tracks going on where we understood that this form factor would be beneficial to everyone. So you talked about going to see, you know, the events and friends and family. I go to my kids' soccer games and it has changed my life. It has changed my experience because now I don't have to miss the game to capture the memory because it's recording straight through what I see. I just took a trip to a new country. And there I was with the glasses, you know, tell me, what's this building? Where do I go for this? Like navigating this space and learning. So we knew it would be good for everyone. And at the same time, we had a parallel track going in development where we were understanding what the value would be to blind and low vision people. We have engineers on our teams who are blind or low vision themselves, who have family members who are. And so we were really exploring what this form factor can do. So yeah, what feels good is to know that what was anticipated through the user research, and we did co-design labs where we build with people from these different communities, that it was realized when these came to market. And what we have seen since is that blind and low vision people are the highest engaged users of these products. And that is phenomenal because I personally believe that all technology is assistive technology.
Yeah.
And
it should be. Yeah.
I think it is. Everybody who's using a phone is using it to help them with something. It's using it because it makes something more efficient, something easier. You know, it brings information to them in a faster way than they could themselves. Like there's just like, it's a fact. And so it's just a question of what's the assistance you're looking for. And to have a product that could assist so many people in so many ways, where people are coming back talking about how it is revolutionary, how it has changed their lives. I mean, it's moving, it's emotional, and it's phenomenal to be able to do that and to build with people and then see the value that it brings to them.
Oh, it definitely has. There's no denying it. You mentioned that you knew these were going to have an impact, you know, at the early stages, but were you surprised about the numbers that have sold of the Meta Ray-Bans?
You know, look, we're ambitious. So we set some high targets. We are nothing if not ambitious. I think, the surprising piece is what happened once AI blew up. So we have a whole roadmap for these wearables and these glasses. And we had anticipated that holograms, screens where you see things on the screen, on the lens, that would come first. And then AI kind of swooped in and took over. And so that was, I think, the surprising part. And that then really boosted, accelerated the rate at which adoption happened and that value was delivered. Because so many of the use cases that you see now, I was just at a conference, CSUN, which you must know about. And, and like I'm having lunch and I'm the only sighted person at the table. And people with the glasses no longer need to ask me, where are the extra fries? Right? Like, no, seriously. It's things like that. Like, I mean, I don't need to tell you. You know that. I don't need to tell you.
Yeah.
It's the everyday things that give you an independence and a dignity and just raise, I say accessibility is about usability and value. And what we see in this product is the convergence of those two. It is a usable product that brings value to people's lives.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I talk about the everyday things. I mean, one aspect of the Meta Ray-Bans that doesn't get talked about enough, and I think it's an amazing feature, is when you record a video, you're recording spatial audio as well. And what that meant was, on a trip to Canada last year, I was able to capture all this amazing audio that I could relive those moments again, just by sitting in my front room, wearing the glasses, listening back to the videos I'd recorded as if I was there. Yeah. It was amazing. And that kind of audio postcard approach, which, again, I think for blind people is it's more important than pictures, let's be honest, for us. But, of course we can analyze the images and we can get a lot out of that as well. But having that audio, it was really key. And
it's funny.
Again, that's another huge aspect of it.
When you talk about that, it reminds me when we, a couple of years ago, rebranded from Facebook to Meta. And that was at the point where we were investing heavily in this new kind of technology, in the metaverse, etc. And the word that we were very focused on was presence. That we wanted to bring technology that gave people a feeling of presence in the world. And this is one of those examples that when you are sitting now replaying, you feel present again in Canada. It's all around you and you feel immersed in it in a way that, just didn't exist before we were able to bring these things to market.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it really is. I will say, when you say presence as well, and us being able to relive memories, for me as well, it's the ability to make a video call to someone, and for them to be able to see through the glasses and assist me. It feels like there's always someone with me. I feel more confident in going out on my own and, maybe doing that route that I haven't done before, because, hey, if I get stuck, I can always summon someone, pull someone out of my pocket, and there's always someone present with me. It makes a huge impact.
And are you talking about when you're using the AI alone, or are you talking about the Be My Eyes partnership?
I'm talking about both the Be My Eyes implementation and also the ability to make a WhatsApp video call or Messenger, or I believe even Instagram calls now as well. Is that right?
Yeah. Calls on Instagram, I am not sure of. Certainly WhatsApp.
He doesn't know what he's talking about, Maxine. He's never used Instagram in his life.
No, I haven't. No, I know.
He's making that up as he goes along.
No, I'm sure it's on there.
Oh my
You're
gosh,
talking
you
about
are missing
WhatsApp
out.
calls.
You're missing out.
Well, so am I, clearly.
This is my gift to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, wonderful. Another 3 hours of my day gone. But no, listen, I've got to say, like Sean says, all these amazing features are wonderful. The one big challenge, let's be brutally honest, one big challenge that I think you guys are facing, and we, because we're so hungry for this, especially the AI, the big challenge has been getting access to it in some countries. There are still challenges, isn't there, getting it rolled out across some parts of the world. It's not available everywhere yet.
Mm-hmm. No, they aren't everywhere yet, but this is new. So as we roll them out, we're learning what markets can bear, what markets want. This is what's also new for us, is making hardware that has supply chains, right? Which then impact how much inventory you have. And then you have to make decisions about where inventory goes. So there are just like a whole bunch of different aspects that go into this that were not sort of innate in our business model before. So what
There
I
is-
would say is that it's not yet in every market.
There is a question I think that the blind community has, and we see this across other technologies as well. There's because AI in itself, when the glasses in particular, will eventually move towards AR, augmented reality. There's always a fear, I think, in the blind community that suddenly screens become the focus again. So right now with the
Right.
Meta Ray-Bans, they're perfect, right? Because you don't have a screen, you
Yeah.
don't need a screen.
Yeah.
We were given a little bit of hope, I think, when we heard some news recently from Google about their potential project is going to, have an optional screen. And we thought, oh, that's interesting. So it means it doesn't need one. There's always that concern, isn't there, Maxine, that, I think in our community, the screen is going to become king again. Is that something you're aware of?
Look, I'm aware because I've seen this movie before in other places. So silent movies were the only movies at one point, and so captions were everywhere. And deaf people could participate just as well as everyone else. And then sound came, and that's when captions dropped off. And all of a sudden, deaf people could not experience the movie in the same way. And it has taken all this time through advocacy, etc., to bring captions back. So that's when I say I've seen the movie before, I know that things can change and go when new technology comes. What I can say is right now, as I sit here, I think we are going to have options of devices. So that if you want a device with a screen, you may have that. And if you want a device without, you may have that. I think that is the current plan. I can't commit that things won't change, but definitely bearing in mind, we're so much better now at understanding what the public wants and needs and building for and with them for that. So I have more confidence now that we won't repeat the same movie again. When I say we, I mean as a society.
Yeah.
Well,
but
that's,
it's
there's
good
always the
feedback
challenge
to
with
bear in
progress,
mind.
right? There's always the
Right.
challenge with progress that somehow something or someone gets left out of it. This is the challenge
Absolutely.
of, and that's the case with everything, right? I mean, I remember
Yes.
when the Amazon Echo came out, and I was thinking, wow, this is the best thing in the world for blind people, and a bunch of deaf people put their hands up and said, but what about us?
Yeah.
Correct.
It's the same problem, right? It's the same issue. And this is
Correct.
that, progress can create new challenges. I think the
Yes.
key is that, we're being listened to. And do you feel within
Absolutely.
Meta, accessibility is up there, is part of the focus?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm here now at this conference and probably the most senior person from one of these big companies who is here because it mattered that much to be here, to be in market, to connect with people, to understand and learn from them what their experiences are that we should be cognizant of and responding to. We have a commitment to building with. So right now I have teams in different parts of the world running co-design labs where we're working with people with different abilities. And we do it for a number of different characteristics, taking their input from the beginning of the process so that we are building the right things. I was just on a panel, I said, boy, I couldn't pay for this amount of marketing benefit, where a panelist was talking about her experience as a blind person working with Meta, where she did an ad with us for the glasses, but she was like, I was contacted months and months and months before, and Meta took the time to know who I was, spent time living with me, like it was a whole thing, and hearing from them in order to build what we built. So we have a track record of it. I know we are committed to it. So I have good faith that that is how we will continue going.
Well, I wish you all the best with it. Before I let you go, just one final question. The Be My Eyes partnership, of course.
Yes.
That was quite a big deal in all of this as well,
Yes.
right? Because that really showed that commitment by bringing in the team there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're deep in with Be My Eyes. We're very, very close to them. Be My Eyes has millions of volunteers around the world. And they either the people for free on devices that are relatively, and this depends on the market you're in, but relatively affordable, can get that kind of access is, it's unheard of, right? We don't in human existence have an example of something like that before. And the Be My Eyes have been a fantastic partner. So they're also people who we're building with, because we're learning too from the partnership what works. So I'm seeing people using the glasses in 3 different ways. One is with the AI alone as an assistant. One is people using the option to call their own friends while they're using the glasses through WhatsApp. And then the third is the Be My Eyes option. So when you consider all of that, you kind of really have it covered, that people can get the help they need to even augment what the glasses do on their own.
And the AI is only going to improve, right?
Yes.
I mean, we keep saying this on the show. It's the worst it's ever going to be today, right? It's only
Right.
ever going to improve.
Correct. I mean, I'm hearing things in this conference, right? I'm taking note. Some of the challenges people are talking about experiencing in their lives, and some of the solutions they're talking about. I'm hearing and going, that solution is going to be dated next month, because the rate at which the AI is working is really, it's just smarter, faster, more efficient, and addressing issues we just couldn't have done as well manually. So I'm very bullish.
Well, listen, don't be a stranger. Come back again and
Thank
tell us what you're
Thank you
what
for
you're
having
doing.
me.
We'd love
Who
to
knew
have you
we'd
back.
meet here?
I know, of all the places in all the world. I'm so glad to meet you, Maxine. Thank you so much for coming on
All
to
right.
Double Tap.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.